Hello, everyone. I thought I might, because I'm getting asked a lot about backgrounds. So what I did is I went back and found this little picture of this cute little bird, and I'm just going to add a bit of a background to him. Now, I do different backgrounds. You can certainly do a background like this, which is the same as what I'll be doing here as far as technique. Although here I'm going to do a little bit less. So here I filled it in a little bit more. I'm actually going to keep going up here. But what I'm going to do with him is just kind of make a very light wash coming off of his head and maybe down in here somewhere. I think that would be really pretty. Let me even actually, what you can do with background washes is, well, I probably went over this pencil line with just, this is a kneaded eraser, by the way, lifesaver, love these. Sorry for the camera shake, goodness. I probably went over my pencil with a little bit of water, which kind of sealed it in there, so it's harder to erase. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of that. So I think the colors I want to do for the background are going to be, I've got here on my little palette some sepia, some Van Dyke brown, maybe a little blue and green. Let's just play with it. What I'll do first, and this is a smaller painting, so I can use my smaller brush. I'm actually going to use, as you know, my favorite Artisto Velvetouch 8 around, and I'm going to go around that. And by the way, this is an Artisto pad. Let me find here. Did I call this Artisto? Princeton, guys. Sorry about that. So this is just one of my Artisto pads that I painted in here. You know, I love these. They're so great for beginners. And I can even pull this out if I want and gift it or frame it. But I keep these in here and I go back and date these books and reference them. And they're really great. So this would be a good one for backgrounds. I could make a whole Artisto pad with backgrounds and could go back and refer to some fun techniques I found. So let's go ahead and start this one. I'm also using just my Lang palette, Paul Rubens My Lang palette. You know, I love that. And I've got this blue and browns in here and a little bit of green. What I'm going to do first is go around with a pretty wet brush. As you know, normally in just your regular painting, I would say, you know, tap it off, get some of that water off. But here I want it to be washy. So let me zoom in just a tiny bit, adjust my camera. And let's see, move my water dish, scoot that up so I can anchor my hand, my side of my hand here. And then I'm going to, I've got a pretty fully loaded brush here, and I'm just going to spread the water right along. I could even go over those a little bit, might reactivate them. I want to cover with water a little larger area than I really plan on applying paint to, because I want a soft edge. So I want my edge to end in the wet area. Let me go ahead and pick up, I think I'm going to go for this sepia color and just tap in right in here. Get that kind of spreading. So I'm getting this soft line here because I'm not bringing this paint all the way to the edge of my paint, of my water line. Otherwise I would have a hard line. Let's just maybe tap in a little bit with some dark. I'm using the tip of my brush. You can blow on this as well if you want to spread it around, or just tilt your paper like that. I might add just a tiny bit of pink to make it look like there's maybe some pink branches in the background. Now I definitely want to blow that around. So there we go. Now I could carry a little bit of that up here around his head Again, I'm wetting very generously this whole area and wetting a larger area than what I want to cover. Now this would be fun to also, you could sprinkle some salt in, you could do all kinds of fun things. I'm just going to kind of go in this direction here, just laying down some of this paint. And you could tilt your paper. Look how pretty that is. So a lot of you are, you know, you really don't like having all that white space. I've heard some of you say it looks like my painting's floating and things like that. I kind of go through phases. For a long time, I always included backgrounds. And then I don't know why, I just all of a sudden started being okay with all that white space. So there you go. That's all I would really do with this one. You could add in a tiny bit of just some touches of green. And sometimes more subtle is better because it just gives that feeling of, is there something back there? I'm going to blow on that. And there you go. All right. So I hope that was kind of a fun little quick tip for you. You could always go down into here, but I kind of liked just doing that top part. That's up to you. You could very easily, sorry guys, you know, go down in here as well, but I'll just do that so you could see. Again, carrying the water farther than what I want my paint to go. And we start with that brown again. And working pretty wet here. And just letting it spread again. And there you go. You could even do one more thing here. So I'm going to wash and rinse my brush. And if you just want some cool little background effects, you could tap in some water and look at that. You get some cool blooms. So there you are. I hope that was fun for you. I actually kind of do like this on this particular wood one. It makes me feel like he's kind of out in the woods or something. But remembering to carry your waterline farther than where you're going to paint. Because, let me show you real quickly here, find a swatch. And you may know this already, but I'll show for those of you that don't. If I was, remember, watercolors only goes where the water is. So if I'm trying to do an edge and I want this soft edge that kind of blurs out, if I was to take my paint all the way to the edge, I get this hard line. See that? And it's not washy. Now, if I wet that area like I did on my painting, and I only bring my paint on the inside, I'm getting this nice, fluffy, soft edge that kind of disappears. So that's why I bring, when I'm doing a background, my water out a little bit farther than what I actually want to go. And then you could blow and get some fun background techniques. You could use salt, you could use saran wrap. I just went in with some water after it dried, and look at this fun, almost looks like that bokeh effect to me. You could do some little splatters while it was wet, and it would spread out. So let's see, let's get a little bit of green. And if I splatter that into the background, look at that, so interesting. All right, as always, have fun with your paintings, most of all. And I truly feel when you paint something and you're enjoying it, I can see that in your paintings. It just looks fun and free, and so much better than when I feel this rigidness or fear. And I really do my best to try and take that out of the paintings for you with some simpler techniques. So I hope you give this one a try. All right, I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for being here in my community. You guys are the best, and I look forward every morning to waking up and seeing what you guys are doing. And just make sure, and if you'd like to get my videos in this vast YouTube world of wonderful artists, just subscribe. I think there's other ways you can do a bell or notify me or something like that that people have brought to my attention. Okay, happy painting, everyone. I'll see you soon.